And let me mute all, and I'll come back and undo. Well, you're able to undo yourself. So if you want to, like Allie, I'll undo you. And then Karen. And I'm going to undo Jerry. All righty. So I am Reverend John. I am the administrator of ANTN. And I'm here to welcome you and to welcome Reverend Karen. This is our beloved Allie Benjamin's part of her ministry, bringing really cool speakers to us that we can uplift ourselves every month and explore something new. I'd like to start with a prayer or an affirmative prayer or treatment, whatever you wish to call it. So let us know this together, that there is one power, one presence, one creative cause, just the one. And we know that we are speaking from it, speaking into it. And there's this beautiful, beautiful law that brings whatever divine word is spoken into full fruition. And so I claim this next hour is heavenly. I already know it is. We are open to receiving and giving and sharing, and in the end, all are blessed from it. And as our energy is nicely raised up high, we become the blessing as we leave and go out into the world today. So I give thanks knowing that this is so, and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Righty. And Allie is going to introduce Reverend Karen now. Let me find Allie. Allie, can you undo yourself?
I
You're
am. I'm
undone.
muted. Thank you so much. Thank you, John. And welcome everyone to this beautiful April speaker series. And I'm so delighted to introduce you to a friend of mine, Karen Russo, Reverend Karen Russo. She is an award-winning author of The Money Keys, with her background as a Columbia University MBA, a corporate leadership trainer, and ordained Center for Spiritual Living minister. Karen shares from decades of insight and experience in both the secular and spiritual realms. After training with Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith at the Agape Center and Holmes Institute, she served for over 10 years at the New Vision Center in North Phoenix. Today, she works with spiritual seekers and business owners throughout the world who want both spiritual inspiration and practical tools to live with more peace, freedom, and abundance. And I met Karen years ago at a wonderful workshop where she was presenting in, I think it was in Tucson, Arizona. And then a couple of years ago, I had the pleasure of spending time with her. My husband and I, Michael, spent time with her at the Big Sky Retreat in Big Sky, Montana, where she was also presenting. She's got an amazing message. She has an amazing consciousness. And I'm so super delighted to introduce you to my friend Karen as she shares your spiritual money rhythm: give, receive, and prosper. Karen.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Allie, and welcome everyone. And, I just tuned into the fact that this group, I invite you as I share a message to tune into the what, the content, the spiritual principles, and the practical tools, but also because you are all spiritual leaders in a world that absolutely needs our messages, our ministries, our contribution. I can feel that this group is also a group to notice the how. I'm a person who's been out in the world now for at least 15 years, a spiritual message in all different parts of the world. And I just feel like I invite this group to be completely open to how can you take whatever message or contribution or ministry that you have and continue to expand, to give, and to grow. So are people up for both, the content and the, good, and the modeling? Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I have prepared some slides because I love and respect you so much. So there you see the slides. And I think what I'll do is I'll pin my video so that it will be kind of obvious for you to see. John, can you give me a little nod if the screen all looks good and you can hear me? Wonderful. And the essence of this message is for you individually, and then thinking about the audiences and students and communities that you serve. How do you identify what the spiritual money rhythm, the flow is? And how do you develop even greater capacity to give, to receive, and to prosper so that you can be making the difference and the contribution that you're here to make, and to be financially prospered and vital and effective as you're doing it? So do you want that? If so, say yes. The people on the Zoom, okay, give it a wave, give it one of those little hearts or a thumbs up or something. Yes, we do want that. We're in the right place. So why is this so important? Well, if you're not feeling a sense of a spiritual money rhythm, it can be painful. And so let's look at all the ways it can be painful. If you are feeling a sense of separation from the flow of giving and receiving, it's costly. So it may be that your energy is drained, and really energy, libido, life purpose, it's one of the ways that the divine expresses through us. And upset about money can drain our energy. It's also possible that your time is being wasted. So in this dimension, time is a commodity. It's a commodity of investment. I just crafted an article that will be in Science of Mind magazine in August, and talked about the opportunity cost. If you are worried, anxious, and upset about money, you're costing yourself the time and energy you could be investing in being inspired, grateful, and free. So if there's upset or separation around money, it can be wasting the time you have here in this plane. You're likely not making the progress, the impact that you desire to make. Your financial results, so whether you are someone who owns a business, or you're in profession, or you're in family money leadership, or in retirement, or in giving, or in philanthropy, if you have separation from the sense of connection around money, your financial results are likely not what you'd hope. And you're not making the fullest of the powerful contribution you are here to make. So what I want to acknowledge is that this is a group here that's done a lot of work around spirituality and money. And yet, if you think about it, Ernest Holmes would say life is progressive. There's always an upward trajectory. So we are whole, perfect, and complete right now. And there's always more to be revealed, to be expressed. So I'd encourage you to choose something in your spiritual money life where there could be a greater sense of connection, and use that as your focus for this conversation. If that's what it costs us, and that's the problem, what is the answer? So the answer is the law of unity, the spiritual truth that, the circle says, no beginning, no end. All of life is an interconnected whole, and the heart in the center represents the love of the divine, which is the nature of God itself. And the idea of unity is that we are one with it. So always the problem of separation, the answer is always union. And when it comes to money issues, one of the most important ways that we can work with the principle of unity is this: the critical distinction one spiritual source, many material channels. So even for the evolved and mature spiritual leaders that are here, this is such a good one to go back to. One infinite spiritual source. It is all supply, all intelligence. Its nature is sufficiency. Its nature is wisdom, givingness. The spiritual source is what we are one with, and it flows and expresses through the things of this world, which I call material channels. Where we get in trouble is where and when we put our sense of security into a material channel. So an obvious way of thinking about this would be, I have a particular job or a generous lover or a hit record or a big database or a real estate portfolio or a great financial planner or a strong body or a good mind or a large congregation, that one of those things feels like it is supplying me, like it's giving me the financial well-being and security. Let's check ourselves, because sometimes it can be subtle. Like for me, I had this idea, well, like the money belief that I had to heal is I can have what I want if I work hard and struggle. Now, maybe is it just me, or does anybody else have, just please, if does anyone else have even, okay, for goodness, good. And that belief, it would look on the outside like this is a gal that has what she wants. But, you know, I've just kind of always like a little bit of a hustle energy, even in spiritual pursuits. And what I realized is I was counting on the material channel of my smarts and my hard work and my skills. And even that is a material channel. If I am supplied by the one spiritual source, then I have to not get a false sense of security from personality and hard work. So you would counsel anyone in your life who came to you and said, if I lose this job, I will, I'll lose my security. You would counsel that person to say, no job is your security, no spouse is your security, no investment portfolio is your security. Those things are going to come and go. They're things of this world. Even if they're good and generous and fabulous, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the next level is to notice when we're counting on things like our personality, changes in the government, being in spiritual community, like just notice the subtle ways that we're counting on a material channel to give us something that it's really not designed to give us. So that may be a bit of even if you just get a little aha that I've been counting on something to be a material channel to give me spiritual security, if you can loose yourself from that, there's a freedom on the other side. With that spiritual distinction, it's then helpful to have a fresh idea of what is money. What is money? Sometimes we get tripped up when we think of money as being a thing of this world that could corrupt us. I worked with a beautiful spiritual leader, Course in Miracles teacher, and there was a time when she felt the money system is polluted, and I don't want to defile my pristine energy by spending too much time with the money system. And I'm exaggerating, but not by much. And what she realized is, if I think the thing is a defiling, a polluted system, then I'm naturally going to keep myself away from it. But what that meant for her is she was not engaged in her personal finances. She had tax obligations that were years out of date, and her ministry was not making a lot of money because she had that sense of separation. So what she understood is, I want to bring my pristine, elevated, God conscious energy. I want to shine the Christ in everything, including money. And for her, it was an immediate turnaround. Just by her being willing to be engaged with money and imbuing it with her light, she was able to have a shift. So the taxes are caught up. The ministries generates a lot of revenue. It employs a team of people all over the world. And she's able to save and invest. And she's actually a person these days who has one of those apps, and she's doing like stock picks and having fun with it. So just know your attitude about money makes a difference. So try this on. What if money was neutral, like language or technology? Language can be profane or powerful. Technology can be trivial or transformative. What if money was neutral? The meaning about money is what is powerful. The meaning. And you and I, we're the meaning makers. We're the ones who look at digits on a screen and we say they're big or they're little. We're the ones who look at our financial circumstances and compare to the past or the future or the neighboring center or someone we see in culture and decide that it's good or it's bad or it's better or worse. We're the meaning makers. So here's the question. You can put the answer in the chat or unmute yourself. What money meaning would you love to make with your money right now? So I'm going to put this in the chat. What money meaning would you love to make? And let's have at least one person unmute and say, what do you want money to mean? Great. Mary Beth says love and circulation. And anybody like to unmute, or you can just go ahead and drop it into the chat. What meaning do you want money to make? Reverend Bill says freedom. Thank you. Okay, we'll give just another moment. Ooh, Reverend Janine says ease. Yeah. Michael says liberation. Yeah, these are beautiful. You know, freedom, ease, liberation, love. Michael says, I'm always provided for. Carla says, visions made manifest. Allison says, the artist flow. These are beautiful. What I want to say is, this is under your purview. The meaning about money is what is your choice. And the next level of that is to answer a very important question. And that question is, what's the money for? In 2004, 5, 6, I was going back and forth a bit between Southern California and Arizona. And I came onto the planet pointing to a blackboard. That'll date me, right? Blackboards, then flip charts, and now it's whiteboards and Zoom screens. But I've always been a teacher, and I was always a teacher of other people's content. So I was a great explainer of what the teacher in the front of the room was saying. And then in the spiritual centers, I taught all the courses that were designed by others. But in 2004, 5, 6, it was clear that something would come through that was mine to share. And it was as simple as I said, well, I love God. I've been on the spiritual path ever since, started in the 12-step recovery, moved through, found science of mind. And I love money and business. I've always found it to be ethical and fair and interesting. And so I said, how do you put God and money together? That was so I knew something would emerge. And as I was with my friend, Reverend Jennifer Hadley, and we were sitting in Manhattan Beach, California, at some kind of taco place where you could see the water. So basically we were not suffering, is what I'm saying. We were sitting somewhere where you could see the water, and I believe we were eating tacos. And I was talking about, I want something to come through about spirituality and money. And this is the question that she said to me, well, it's not really about the money, right? It's what's the money for? What's the money gonna do? Why do you want the money? What is the impact or the purpose of the money? And that's where this question, what's the money for, has been with me now for the whole time that I wrote The Money Keys and have taken this message into the world. What's the money for leads to something called your money purpose. And I encourage individuals, families, and communities and organizations to have a money purpose that guides you. And it's a little bit different than a vision statement. It's a little bit different than a mission. It's also something that can change over time. But a sense of money purpose is your answer to what's the money for. So I'm going to show 3 examples, and then I'm going to pause and ask for, 1 or 2 people to share just a thought or two about what your money purpose might be. So here's money purpose statement. If you're in a family, you might say, we are here to create, share, and love. Money nourishes everything and everyone. So you can see that for them, money purpose starts with their values and their vision. Create, share, and love, those qualities. And then a money purpose statement always has the word money in it somewhere. What does money do? Money nourishes. For a professional, I am growing in my expertise and contribution. Money fuels my career and my life. So this professional is dedicated to growth, her own expertise and her contribution, and money is fueling. Here's a business owner. Virtual Solutions, that's the company, provides ideas, tools, and resources to clients who want to access expanding markets quickly and powerfully. Money flows as we all serve, expand, and prosper. So Virtual Solutions helps clients get to markets, and the money that flows is flowing to serve, expand, and prosper. And it's for everybody, the business owner, his team, clients, vendors, partners. So take just a moment, and the way to get to a first draft of a phrase you might use is, what's my purpose, ? And what does money do or connect? So I'll pause here, and John will just give a minute of quiet, and we'll let folks draft something.
Okay, I believe a minute's up.
Okay, thank you. So let's, we've got some nice ones in the chat there. Yeah, so thank you. Angela says, enhance Han's spiritual consciousness through Emerson. Reverend Kent, to expand our spiritual center's mission, serve more efficiently and effectively. Michael, to do money is there to, what does the money do? It's served to do good things. Is there anyone who wants to unmute? Oh, Allie says, my money flow fuels my spiritual art, activates my creativity, and funds my future joyride. Oh, I want to go on the joyride. Oh, beautiful. And I see a hand up. Angela, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm lousy at typing chats. my thought was to enhance human spiritual consciousness through Emerson Theological Institute. That's why
Beautiful.
we created it in the first place.
Yeah. To enhance human spiritual consciousness through Emerson Institute. And the money fuels that. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, wonderful. So I will continue. We'll leave the chat open for that. But you can see I'm really asking you all to think, to not have just the assumption that more money is good because more money is good, or to tune into somebody else's idea about why you would want more money. It's really powerful to have your own sense of money purpose. And then once you have that sense of like, I make the meaning about money, there's a purpose for my money, how do you activate in an ongoing way your effective, efficient, inspired experience of money? And that's something we call money loves rhythm. Rhythm. Rhythm is a beat, rhythm is a heartbeat, rhythm is a health, rhythm is vitality, and money does really well with a beat, a vitality, a flow. And that's because of the law of circulation. So what you see there, excuse me, is the infinity symbol. And you all are teachers of spiritual law. The law of circulation is the infinite flow of giving and receiving. All of life is giving to us. All of life is about receptivity. Breathing is an example of the natural flow of the in and the out, the up and the down. Things that are healthy have good circulation and vitality. A healthy business, a healthy relationship, a healthy body, vitality and circulation are essential. So when it comes to money and circulation and rhythm, one of the things I've discovered is kind of a fun way to think about it is good rhythm is the healthy interplay of masculine and feminine energies. Now, all people across gender expression and sexual orientation, all beings have access to masculine and feminine energies. Those energies are both and all good and effective when it comes to money. And sometimes we don't quite think about it that way, but as I invite you into looking at these energies, see how it might show up in the circulation in your money life. You see, we build wealth, we grow our business, our investments, our portfolios, our family money flows through action. And that's the masculine expression of money. So masculine money focus is single focus, it's direction, it's wisdom, it's action. Masculine money focus is okay with the death aspect of life. You know, all of life has birth, growth, and death. Masculine focus can say no. Masculine focus can set a boundary. Clarity, wisdom, action, decision. That's how we build wealth. It's good. When it's not present, when masculine energy is not present with money, people will often feel frantic and overwhelmed. They won't be able to make good, strong financial decisions. We experience wealth. We make our difference with awareness. We experience with awareness. This is the feminine spiritual faith aspect of wealth and money. So with the feminine, it's the diffuse awareness. It's the inclusion of all the different experiences with money. It's the grace and love and receptivity. So if the masculine gives and acts, the feminine receives, appreciates, and is aware. When, you know this, we cannot get more than we can experience, whether it's love or money or health or joy. if we, if we can't experience some kind of satisfaction and havingness with the money and these things we have now, getting more can't give it to us. So experience, the awareness of experience is essential for our wealth. Without it, there's an emptiness. If you don't have a sense of feminine wealth awareness, there'll be an emptiness no matter how much you have. Both are valuable. And so I wanted to see, how do these things go together when it comes to money? So what I'm going to teach you is 2 weekly money practices. Money Monday is about giving. Faithful Friday is about receiving. And these are summarized in my little mini book, Grow Yourself, Grow Your Wealth. So for those of you that like a little mini book, you can find that on our website or Amazon. What I wanted to see is, how do we take these ideas of the different energies with money and put them into weekly wealth rituals? So that's what Money Monday and Faithful Friday are all about. Let's look at Money Monday, the giving. So imagine, if you will, that every Monday you focused on giving. The first thing we give is we give financially. So again, this is a pretty mature group. You could be teaching this section. But one of the things that is essential for giving is that we do spiritual giving. We give thanks for the 100% that comes to us, and we give a portion by sharing money with people, institutions, causes, things that spiritually inspire us. If we give 10%, that's a tithe. So you all know a tithe is 10%. I recommend and teach that you can give a different percentage, and I encourage that you're giving to the things that inspire you from a sense of connection. Yes, we want to get to tithing because it is an ancient practice that just like meditating in the morning for 20 minutes, people have been doing it for thousands of years. Tithing, the ancients would plow the fields and leave 10% of the crop in the field. You hear about tithing from spiritual scriptures all across the religious spectrum. So tithing is a spiritual practice, and the benefits of tithing accrue to the giver. We cannot outgive God, so we anchor in ourselves a sense of givingness. But I'm also a person who, I don't have a superstitious approach to tithing. So if you miss a meditation, you get the experience of missing a meditation. If you don't tithe, you miss out on the benefits of tithing. I'm not a person who believes if you miss your tithe, you'll have a car accident necessarily. So you know this, give. The other thing you do on your Mondays is you give attention. So you say your money purpose statement out loud, and some of these that are in the chat here are just great. So if you look at, thank you, Reverend Bill, and thank you, Tim and Suzanne. You say your money purpose statement. You do the financial management that is yours to do. And so if you are a leader of a business, you look at sales reports, or you look at payroll. If you are managing family finances, maybe you do bill paying on Monday. You do your financial management. You look at your specific money goals and select 2 to 3 of the most leveraged actions you can take this week to move your money goals forward. So what's the benefit of doing Money Monday? I want you to kind of think about, if you did that, what would happen for you? I'll ask for sharing in a moment here about the 2 practices. I will say that the people that I've seen that do Money Monday, I worked with another spiritual leader who he was doing a lot of big dreams, but not a lot of grounded in the practical aspects of money management. And when he picked up a Money Monday practice, he found that he was making much more of a direct relationship with his money every week. And what it turned out he decided to do is he took a part-time consulting gig that would cover his basics. So then he could pursue some of his creative pursuits with a little bit more freedom and authenticity. And there's just a way that being in Money Monday made him more focused and grounded. What would it do for you? And then Faithful Friday. Faithful Friday is your practice of receiving. So imagine on Fridays that you set aside 5 to 10 minutes for conscious, receptive reflection. Do not skimp on receiving. It's powerful. The first thing we do is you look back on your week and you receive divine support consciously. How am I, or we, if you run a business or a family, being spiritually supported? So what, if I've got the spiritual quality of love or freedom or joy that I've been working with around my money, how did it show up this week? And how am I growing as a leader of my money? Many people don't think of themselves as the money leader, but it is an empowering perception. The second question to ask on Fridays is to be receptive about the money results that are happening. So how are our or my money goals happening now? So if you're a person who is looking to gain clients for your healing practice, and you set a money goal of, I'm going to do 5 outreaches and have that turn into 2 discovery sessions, and I want to always have at least one of those be a client, you can look back over your week and see that your money goals, that the steps in the process are happening. When you celebrate the results, you start to build the evidence that the things that you desire are happening. So imagine, what would Faithful Friday do for you? So again, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to ask the question, what would happen if you engaged in these spiritual practices? And I'll type it in the chat, but we'll also unmute and see if anyone's got a comment on that. So what would happen if you engaged in Money Monday and Faithful Friday?
If anyone wants me to unmute them, just put it in the chat box.
Michael says, more conscious of money. Yeah. I mean, just more aware of what's going on. It can make a big difference. Yeah, Reverend Jerry, what we focus on expands, so you're more conscious of the giving and the receiving. Yeah. Carla says exponential growth. It's absolutely possible. And Carol says more organized, more personal accountability. Yeah. Yeah, there's sometimes some people have the, if money's been painful in your life, if there was tension or conflict in a family about money, there can be either a conscious or an unconscious avoidance. And this process helps you be engaged with your money in a way that feels spiritually fueled, and it really can break that down. Reverend Kent, more of a balance of the masculine and the feminine. Yeah, the having both is powerful. And Tim and Suzanne say flow. We like that. All right, beautiful, beautiful. So the final thing I'll say is that money loves rhythm. That's what I've been saying. But I also want to let you know that rhythm loves you. So my premise is that the divine longs to express itself through us on so many levels, and that the rhythm of life is our natural strength, and that when we're in the flow of it, we are loved and supported in giving our gifts to the world and to having a healthy experience of money. And I know that you all as spiritual leaders have seen this, is the years that the locusts have eaten come back to us, that it's possible to have tremendous breakthroughs when it comes to our financial lives. So I am happy to conclude the formal remarks here. I'm going to just say a little bit of a thank you and let you all know that you can connect and reach with me at the Money Keys, which is my website. Oops, we'll go back. And for those of you that like to have a series of audio tools and PDFs and all of that, I have a kit called the Lead Your Money Kit. And you can find that at our website, themoneykeys.com, or you can go directly to moneykeys.kit.com, and I'll put those into the chat. And so that's my formal, I'll leave that slide up there for a moment if you want to take a picture of it with your phone or you want a copy from the chat. We'll give a moment to do that. But those are my formal remarks. And I am open to hearing your ahas or questions or responses. And we can also talk about what's happening in your ministries and how you are sharing your gifts with the world and connecting effectively with financial good. All right, good. So it looks like we've got a raised hand there, and I'll unpin my video. All right. So Reverend Jerry, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Reverend Karen, thank you so much for being willing to talk about this. You know, the collective we, and me certainly, you know, I was brought up, you know, money was the roller coaster ride. And, you know, you start to get money in savings, and then the washing machine breaks down, and then the car breaks down. And so, you know, just that ongoing thing that we just don't talk about it and hope for the best. So I love that your willingness to recognize that this is part of our experience in 2021, and it's what we need to do what we want to do. So thank you for that, and some great ideas. I love the Monday and Friday. I'm definitely going to put that into practice, and develop my relationship with money, because we have one. You know, it might be the agony and the ecstasy, and it might be wonderful, but it's up to us to change that. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Reverend Jerry. I appreciate that a lot. And I'll make two comments. You know, one is what I've noticed, and I'm sure you all have seen this as you coach and teach people, is that often folks will be either replicating or rebelling against the financial modeling of the past. So if you grew up in roller coaster land, you may find like, how is this happening now? It's happening again, I'm replicating. Or you may find that maybe the super constricted and walk a straight line and never have any fun with money, you know, the pendulum swinging. But when we get conscious about that we're more at choice for creating our experience at money, you can definitely break that. So I appreciate that. And then this is the thing I just want to share with this group, because it's, you know, we're peers here. So remember back 2004, 5, 6, 7. So that was the beginning of, you know, a housing bubble. And then, you know, we've had life since then. And back then, it might have been around when The Secret movie was coming out and all. But back then I was in the spiritual communities where there would be such a commitment to the consciousness of abundance. And yes, affirmative prayer, and we're going to change our thinking. But people were a little light on tactics and practices around money. And even using the word money, they're like, I'd rather say abundance, you know, okay. But then I would go to the wealth building workshops. So I don't know if it's just me, but did you all go to those things where it's like, you've got a millionaire mind and you've got a millionaire mind, and we're going to high five and break some boards and do some tax liens and invest in real estate. And it was all of this tactics and mindset, you know, mindset, got the millionaire mind, not a poor mind, and then strategies and tactics, but very light on like, I'm going to surrender to my higher power and discover what's true. So The Money Keys, my original book, published in 2007, is a holistic model for money based on the science of mind teaching symbol, spirituality, beliefs, and habits. So I wanted to see, could there be a holistic approach? And that, what I have found for many folks, just like all of us, is that it's a fresh idea to put all three together. So just notice, like sometimes there'll be out in the world more of that tactics and mindset without the surrender. And then sometimes still lingering in our spiritual communities, there's consciousness and prayer, but not a lot of habit. So who else has a comment or an aha or a question?
It kind of sounds like the spiritual dimension of it is the framework for the tactics.
Yes, yes. The spiritual dimension drives the tactics. If I'm at one with intelligence, what does intelligence want to be doing? Thank you, Tim. And I'm interested, what questions and challenges are your students and communities facing around money issues now? So what
I'll say something.
yeah.
Mosquitoes are getting me, but I don't really have a succinct thing to share other than some thoughts that are coming up, a lot of wonderful creative ideas, and really feeling the power in knowing what your passion is and allowing that creative flow, and including money, to be part of the conversation, energetic conversation we're having with the world as we go about living our passion. I'm an artist, so I like to paint. So to include sort of money and prosperity and flow through what I'm doing with my art and my spiritual message seems your talk today has really fueled that. In the world that I live in, with serving a spiritual community, I know that over the last year, we've gone through a lot of changes. We're no longer meeting in person. We're no longer passing around an offering basket like we used to. So I'm being called to think anew, to be creative, and to develop ways of bringing in income and monetizing what we're doing with our classes and our Sunday offerings. And so I'm just wondering, as you've been on this path too over the last year, all of us have been with COVID and isolation and this and that, and the changes in our churches and centers. Can you give us some accounts of how people are dealing with the financial changes that they're realizing due to not meeting in person and going virtual?
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you asked that, Ali. Thank you. And I really want to acknowledge, like, as an artist and a creator, there's something really beautiful about my art is so engaged with the world and its commerce and flow that it includes financial flow, So sometimes we think about things like art as a luxury good or an afterthought. But just like any product, the problem is I need to reach people and talk to them. I need, the solution is this phone. With art, the problem is I need to be inspired in my home to feel a sense of connection with life. The solution is the art. So don't be shy about that. And then the thing about, pandemic and quarantine and all of this, we are a spiritual group that believes in oneness and that the presence of God is never absent, right? So one of the things I just want to invite us all into is, do not assume that the only thing that's happened for people is that things have gotten worse. So I'm not minimizing anybody's challenging experience, but it's really helpful to also be in the place of abundance didn't go anywhere. Flow has not left. Where is it now? And so just like noticing that for some people, I've seen people who lost jobs, but found resilience and financial flow in ways they couldn't imagine. A lot of businesses, whatever you think about government or programs and all that, a lot of businesses were like, I got a grant, I got an EIDL thing, the PPP really helped. Somebody helped me figure it out. A lot of people who, got relief and support in ways they couldn't imagine. So just, I've seen resilience, creativity, possibility expand alongside the loss and the challenge and all of that. So thank you for that. I do see in the chat, someone has private messaged me that, they have some desires around money that might not be, quote, altruistic. And I'm like, I think all desires around money count as altruistic, even if, no matter what it is. And then Carol says, how does the collective energy of financial institutions paying less and less interest fit into your teaching? So thank you, Carol, for asking that. One source, many channels. Financial institutions. I'll answer this, then we'll go Bill, then Angelo. Financial institutions and those investments, they're only a channel. There may be other places that are going to be better options for savings and investing. It's challenging because some of the things that looked secure appear less and less fruitful, and it's causing us to be sometimes more innovative. So I hear you that it's tough, and I also know the intelligence of God is there. Okay, so Reverend Bill, and then we'll go to Angelo.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. This is great. Every time I do another cycle through the money awareness or prosperity teachings, it shakes more stuff loose. So we are once again in the process. We're halfway through teaching spiritual economics, which is a wonderful book. And one of the things we do is we have an unexpected income club. And it is just astounding to get the tithes in from the unexpected income, because it just shows up with fabulous stories. And then partway through this, for me, somebody donated a retreat center to us. I have no idea how to tithe on that, but there it is.
Yeah, that's you know what? Wow, Reverend Bill, I encourage you to pray, and I encourage everybody here to be like, to just give him a little bit of love, like, good problem, right? It's like, how do I tithe on this? It's like, yeah, and what you might want to consider is, as you value the property, and then you think about the expenses that will be in the maintenance costs and something like that, find some amount of benefit that you're getting and tithe on that. Or tithe every year on the savings of not having something. Like figure out, just find a number that is maybe, it's not the value of the whole thing, but it's a number of it, the operational savings of which you tithe on, or something like that. Play with it.
Yeah.
Good. Angelo.
I just want to say your magnificent shines. What our experience is with some of the students and also some of the ministers that we mentor is ministerial burnout and emotional clarity sometimes. And what happens is, I think the first signs of a problem is when the minister comes to us and they're counting the empty chairs on the Sunday morning. It's incredible. And that's what I mean, the feminine part of it I love, because that's right, it's all masculine, counting the chairs and the empty chairs, and then going and focusing on that. So I just want to thank you for pointing all this out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And it's not about chairs, right? Because if you're doing a good job with your live stream and your communication, it's how many hearts do you touch through the recording as well. It's like we're creating sometimes new ways of thinking about who we're touching. Well, I'm about to pray. I'm just going to grab the chat again. So Mary Beth says money giving, receiving, and the third leg of the stool is utilization. And I think you mean, how are you a good steward of your money, and how do you save, invest, and share? As Mary Beth, is that the kind of thing you're talking about?
Yeah, and enjoy.
And enjoy. Well, I would say this, we could do a whole thing on this, but I'll give one tip, which is almost always for people who have that feeling of like, I'm not sure where it goes, is I'll almost say, start with this, bless the 100%, tithe off the top, and then have some allocation for saving. And the very next thing is fun and play. So often for people who feel very constrained about money, is they will skimp and skimp and skimp, then their inner kid will rebel and they'll do a big old spending thing. And one of the things that's very healthy is to have saving and play be important priorities right up at the top of your financial allocations. All right. So, oh, good. Carla says we pay yourself first after tithing. That's a nice thing to have too. All right. I am just so appreciative of being here with everybody. And I'm about to go. I'm going to save the chat myself just so I will have your questions and things. That's always, I find that helpful. So if there were things that were helpful to you in the chat and you want to save them, go ahead. And oh, Reverend Michelle Woodington, you're here. Hi, sweetheart. How great is that?
I guess I messed up our time. I thought this started at 10.
Well, oh, okay. It's been life transforming. So just,
I know it has, Karen, because I know you, and I know it has been life transforming. And yeah, I next month have to get my time right.
All right. So I'm just going to scan the gallery. Has this been helpful? Yes. Yes. Wonderful. All right. And so John and Allie, anything else before I say a prayer to just anchor the knowing? And all right. Good. Okay. So let us breathe and let us pray. So how sweet it is to surrender and recognize that the infinite good is an ever-giving reality. So in this moment, I recognize the one life, it's God, it is everywhere present, living, giving, loving, expressing, as Karen, as this Anton group, as every individual minister and leader, every community, every client, every family member, every friend, every beloved who touches our lives. And we extend this to all beings, all peoples. We recognize our natural at-one-ment with the rhythm of life itself. Life longs to express itself through us and as us, and we honor the divine by revealing the God in us as abundance and prosperity, as giving and receiving, as love, freedom, peace, beauty, truth, wholeness now. And from this state, I bless us. I bless that every person who touches this message gets the intuitive guidance, gets an idea, an inspiration, an aha, a relief, a option, an action, a moment of joy and thanksgiving and generosity. And I bless us financially, spiritually, emotionally, and practically as we take these lessons and insights out into our contribution to the world. And as Marianne would say, this is a world that needs us at our best. And so what I know is that each and every individual here is creating more love, more consciousness of supply, more giving, more receiving, more benefit for all. I'm grateful that the law says yes. I release this word. I know it is good. It is done. And together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Karen. So beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you next month with our amazing Michelle Whittington, Reverend Michelle.
Who will need to get the time right by next month. Yes.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, John, for everything that you did to set this up. And Karen, many blessings with all that you're doing in the world. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.